So hello everybody, my name is Gregomon. Welcome back to another blog video. So if you've seen the last video, you know I was talking a lot about everything that's going on with my channel and work and everything, more or less everything that's going on right now. But this time I wanted to address something a little more specific. I had mentioned that I was getting ready to start my own business and that I've been working really hard at it. Well, after Jessica bought me the truck, and Jessica is Oh My Geese. She goes by Oh My Geese on YouTube, and like I said in the last video, she's been a huge support in everything that's going on. But I wanted to talk a bit more about the business that I'm running right now, and the direction that I see it going in, and the steps I'm taking to make it go in that direction. So like I said in the previous video, we are doing hauling and scrapping. So what we do is we pick up scrap metal for people for free, because we can just take it and scrap it, you know, get a few bucks, because scrap prices are pretty low right now. So it's not like we're making a whole lot of money, but if someone hits us up and asks us to haul something away for them, we usually do it for about 30 bucks, which is a little bit more than we get for a full load in the truck. There's an airplane going by right now, so you might not be able to hear me real well. So we haul stuff away for people for a little bit less than, or a little bit more than what we get for scrapping. So that's what we're actually aiming at right now. But I said in the previous video that we had a few contractors, or a couple contractors, who were contacting us about hauling away some stuff for them, which was pretty awesome. We were able to get a decent amount of work from those guys, and we met both of them on the same day, which was really interesting. It was a really cool day, and not only that, like, we had some other interesting stuff happen. I'm gonna start recording while we're out working, so that way we can get a little bit more going on the vlog channel here. And we were driving by one day. This is like a crazy story. It was like random. We're driving by and we had just picked up a refrigerator and an oven, and we're cruising down the street, and in my 6'4", no, not really, but we're cruising down the street, and I looked over and I'm like, oh, like this there's smoke coming from the front of this house over here. What the fuck is that? So I put the truck in reverse and I backed up real quick. I went back over there and I realized that the mulch around the front of the house that we drove by was on fire. So I jumped out, I ran over there, I'm banging on the door, ringing the doorbell like crazy, no one's coming to the door. So I start running from one side of the house to the other side of the house. I find a garden hose, I run back over to the front, I start hosing it down, getting it to go out and everything, and the whole time this neighbor on the street is standing across the street, and she's like, oh yeah, like I seen it was smoking over there, but I didn't really think too much of it. I didn't even go inspect it or anything. And she's like, if anything, I was gonna call the fire department if it was a fire. I was like, well, it was a fire, like the yard's on fire, you know, like. But I was like, we seen it, we were driving by, and then we came back, and I ran over here and I started putting it out. So for those of you who don't know, don't trust your neighbors, because this person would have lost their house if they'd have put their trust in their neighbor. Luckily, I was driving by at that time, and Jessica and I went back and we put it out ourselves. So that was one of the few crazy stories that we've had, and we've had a few of them already. I'm not going to talk about them a whole lot, but what we do is we pretty much just drive around. This is kind of our main business model right now. We drive around, we find scrap metals like refrigerators, poles, TV antennas, you know, all that stuff, and we pick them up and we put them in the back of the truck, and we take them to the scrapyard and we scrap them, because most people will just put this stuff on the edge of the curb, which is super awesome. And we find a lot of car parts and everything too, and car parts are usually pretty heavy, so we'll scrap anything and everything we can, and we'll take the aluminum and we'll separate it from the actual steel and everything that we find. That way we could scrap the aluminum separately, because aluminum pays a little bit more, but it's a lot lighter as well. So it takes a lot more aluminum to make what we make on a steel scrapping. So on an average day we do about 3 full loads, and it's about, at the prices that we're getting right now, it's about $15 to $25 for a load of steel, which really isn't that great. But like I was saying in a previous video, it's enough to help us get by, but not enough to help us keep up with everything that's going on. So using that business model, we've been able to meet one person who has became a dedicated customer to us, because she had contacted several different people and they all denied coming to her property to do the work for her that she needed done. So I responded and said, yeah, you know what, we'll be there in a few hours. And at the time I had a flat tire on our truck and we had to go and get it fixed, and luckily we had help from Gregomon mother. She came and helped us replace the tire, because that was the first day that we actually started getting positive on everything that we were doing, because the scrap prices had came up about $1. So we were able to, instead of doing like, because before we were doing like $12 or $13, sometimes $15 for a load. That was the first day that we took a load and we made close to $20, but it still wasn't enough to get us a new tire. So luckily, Gregomon mother was able to come through, and she's my mother-in-law as well, and she's amazing. I love her. But she was able to come through and help us get a new tire on the truck, and we had to go back and meet up with one of the contractors that we had met before, and we got a dishwasher, a washer, dryer, and refrigerator from him, and we took all those, and then we had to go meet up with our first customer, who was an amazing lady, and she gave us this huge barbecue grill that was so heavy that we couldn't even budget. I had to stand there in her backyard and try to take it apart with the impact drill, and even at that, it still wasn't coming apart. So I had to improvise, figure it out, and then we carried what was left out to the street, forced it into the back of the truck, and strapped it all in with the washer, dryer, and refrigerator that we had. So it was a very, very strange day. But we ended up managing, and that was the first day that we came out like really positive. Well, the next day turned out to be just as productive. And it's like, if you have a truck and you're thinking about starting any kind of business, my suggestion would be drive around, find scrap metal, because if you have a scrap yard close enough to you, you will be able to afford to put gas into your vehicle and have money left over afterwards. As long as you're not driving more than 10 or 15 minutes to the scrapyard when you're done filling up your truck, you will come out positive. And we've proven this several times, because when the prices were at $2.50, we were barely coming out positive. Like, we would have enough money to put more gas into the truck, buy a pack of smokes, and then have like $2 or $3 left over afterwards at the end of the day to be able to go out and do it again. So it's not exactly easy, and it is a little bit stressful, but it's definitely a good business model, because after 5 days of doing it, we had gas in both of our vehicles. We had been able to pay the daycare for our children, and we still had close to $50 left over. So you stick with it and keep doing it, it will pay off, because the scrap prices ended up coming up a bit. We met a few people who were giving us additional work, and we came across someone who was definitely going to be our first customer. And on top of all that, I ended up finding a 50-inch television set. I ended up finding a new computer. I ended up finding new chairs that we're going to be using out here very soon. And I also found big ass 15-inch speakers inside of boxes. So in the end, it's all really paying off. And there was a few other things that I was considering keeping, but I'd rather not have to deal with it at the moment. And tomorrow is Monday. Monday the I think it's like 17th or something. And we're in May right now. Or no, tomorrow is the 18th or 19th. And we already have a dryer ready to go for scrapping. Plus we have close to 70 pounds in aluminum alone because we've been accumulating it and letting it sit up. Oh look, these tiki torches right here. We even found those at a gentleman's yard, and he let us have the little kerosene things that go inside of them. See up there? He let us have those little things that go inside of them to be able to keep them running. I think there's another one back there somewhere. Yeah, there's another one right there. Yeah, he let us have those so that way we could fill them up with kerosene and be able to continually use them. He said there's really nothing wrong with them. One of them's rusted through and the bottom's a little messed up, so it won't hold any kerosene, but the other three are perfectly fine. So this one right here, we could actually probably go and scrap that tomorrow because we're planning on going out and picking up another load. And when things go well, we found that the best way to do it is find out trash schedules for your area. So when you figure out what your trash schedule is in your area, you can figure out what days people are most likely to put shit out on the curb, and you can figure out the best days to go out and pick up that shit and go and scrap it. So I hope this all helps everybody. And remember that people, they don't put trash out very early in the morning. They usually do it sometime in the afternoon for the next day. So sometimes that's a little bit better to do, but you start early in the morning, you can transition from the cool morning air into the hot air in the afternoon rather than just jumping straight out into the hot air, which is not good. Like, you start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when it's already hot, and it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be very difficult, but you start earlier in the morning and transition into that hot air, and it's not so bad. Make sure you drink plenty of water, plenty of Gatorade, and instead of drinking cold water, try to drink room temperature water, which is not as hot as it is outside, but a little bit cooler, but not enough to be like frosty with condensation and everything on the outside of your water bottles. And if you do only have cold water, your best thing to do is swish it around in your mouth a little bit, spit it out, and that'll keep you hydrated very well. So make sure you guys do that. And I want to thank you guys all for watching this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying these vlog videos so far. Remember to share them with your friends, that way they can see what's going on here as well and be able to keep up with more updates from Gregomon. And here real soon I'll be bringing out more stuff as far as family life goes, more behind the scenes of everything as far as video gaming videos, walkthroughs, playthroughs, all that stuff. And then some more, I'm going to be doing some more behind the scenes for my tutorial videos as well. I actually did a pretty good I didn't do a video today, but I did some pretty good stuff that would have been a good tutorial video. The bed of my truck was broken and the handle wasn't working, and I ended up fixing it, and it was a little bit of a process, but I think it would have made a good video. I should have did it now that I think about it, but hey, you can't go back and change that, right? Unless I take it all apart and redo it for you guys. Which is actually a good idea. I might do that. But anyway, remember, like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I will see you guys on the next video.